watching CN2 News, your South Carolina hometown news.
Lost and found, a reunion nearly 40 days in the making. How complete strangers teamed up to bring a family's beloved pet home. Plus, later in CN2 Sports, the Great Falls Red Devils are days away from playing their first football game of the season, but they are facing a different opponent, one that is not allowing them to practice on the field at the moment. CN2's Jeremy Winder with that story coming up. Your news starts now. Good evening and thanks for making CN2 News a part of your night. I'm Renee O'Neill in for Laurabree and Lucas. First up tonight, the journey home. The family of the missing dog Cash speaking out after strangers miles away teamed up to find their dog. We told you about Cash in Monday's newscast. He ran off after his family was in a serious crash on Interstate 77 in Chester County back in July. After nearly a month of searching, Cash is now home with his family. The journey to finding him wasn't easy. Here's a look at the story.
I said, let's do this.
For York County's Lindsay Skinner, she didn't think her summer would include searching for a family's dog she never met.
We kind of just all became friends and family within a couple of days.
We are talking about the beloved Cash, a 9-year-old dog from Leesville, South Carolina. He ran into the woods after his owners, Tiffany Green, Lee Wood, and their 3-year-old daughter, Paisley, were involved in a serious accident on July 8th when they were on their way to camp at Carowinds. A trailer disconnected from a truck, slamming into another vehicle, and then the family's truck. Tiffany and Lee were seriously injured. Paisley walked away with only a scratch. Following the crash, Cash was first seen on the Skinner family property. Friends near and far, including Cash's grandparents, who came from Leesville to search for him, posted flyers throughout the area.
It was basically just prayers. I mean, the community helped in all ways they could by sharing the posts.
Skinner says some time went by and Cash was nowhere to be found until last week.
Friday night, we found the area he was in, so we set up cameras. So Friday and Saturday night, we were up watching cameras, and Cash would only come out at night.
Cash was eventually found safe and sound off Edgeland Road just after midnight on Monday.
It was thrilling, it was exciting, and it was emotional because for so long this family has been wanting their dog back, and we were able to do that.
We just can't believe so many people just stepped up to help us.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without all the help up there in that Richburg area. There's still good people in the world.
Now Cash is back in the arms of his family, a family that's very grateful for complete strangers who never lost hope.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We love a happy ending like that. Tiffany Green and Lee Wood are still recovering from their injuries and more surgeries are expected. A GoFundMe has been created to raise money for the mounting medical bills coming in. We will have that link under the story on CN2.com. Well, an investigation involving a Clover High School student who family members say was beaten up and tortured for hours by 3 other girls. That case has now been closed and no charges are being filed. That's according to the Lexington County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office was investigating the incident because it occurred there, and they would not say why the case has been closed. There was a GoFundMe page set up back in June to support the young lady who was attacked. However, that page has now been disabled. We were able to get a copy of the police report from Lexington County, and that does say the mother of one of the underage girls questioned by authorities purchased alcohol for the girls to stay at a lake house in Lexington. Well, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster will be spending several days here in the Tri-County. This Wednesday, August 16th at 11 a.m., the governor will hold a ceremonial bill signing for paid parental leave for school district employees. He will sign that bill at South Point High School. Then on Friday, August 18th at 11 a.m., McMaster will be back in Rock Hill for the signing of a bill for Gavin's Law in downtown Rock Hill at the Center of the Arts. Gavin's Law, named after Gavin Guffey, who died by suicide in 2022 after he was sexually extorted online. The law creates penalties for the crime sextortion. Gavin's the son of Representative Brandon Guffey. And planning is underway for the 5th cycle of the Pennies for Progress program in York County. Here's your chance to voice your opinion on what roads you think need to be widened, paved, or improved. York County Council appoints a commission of citizens who pore over all of their requests from the public and create a project priority list based on that input. There are many public meetings between now and September in cities and communities throughout York County. The next meeting is tomorrow, Wednesday, August 16th in Western York County, Sharon, Hickory Grove, Smyrna, and McConnell's at the Sharon Community Center at 6 p.m. If you cannot make it to any of the meetings, you can give your opinion on the Pennies for Progress website. Once the final project list for Pennies 5 is approved, residents will vote on it during the general election in November of 2024. Well, the Fort Mill School District kicking off a new year. Teachers, faculty, and staff from all over the district taking part in what is described as the first district-wide event involving all employees since the COVID pandemic. The district announced the Support Staff Person of the Year, and congratulations to Cindy Armseth, who is a computer tech engineer in the district office. Lindsay Weaver was honored as the Teacher of the Year. Lindsay is a 6th grade ELA teacher at Gold Hill Middle School. After the celebration, teachers then went through the important training sessions during this Engage to Learn conference on a wide range of topics such as teaching skills and problem solving, helping students get ready for the real world.
Educators in general, if we're not constantly learning, then we're not being the best educator that we can be. I think there's always a new way of teaching. There's a new way to learn. You know, the world is changing. The way that students learn is changing. Their environment is changing. So being able to adapt on the spot and have a bunch of tools in your tool belt that you're just like ready to pull out and say, okay, is this going to work today? Or is this going to be a dumpster fire? And some days it is a dumpster fire, but having all of as many resources as you can is super helpful.
Well, I'm excited that the kids will be back in school. It's been a long summer. I'm glad to be back face to face the last year and this year, through with the pandemic, COVID mask and all that. So I'm just glad. I think we made great strides academically since we've been back from the pandemic, and I look forward to continued growth on the academic side.
With Fort Mill students returning back to the classroom on Monday, August 21st, Superintendent Dr. Chuck Epps is reminding parents to be patient when it comes to buses and school lines, as well as traffic. Well, here's our latest picture of the day. Historic Brattonsville's By the Sweat of Our Brows is back once again, and tickets are on sale. Join the descendants of the Brattonsville enslaved community as they honor their ancestors and continue their legacy. To buy tickets, you can do so by visiting the Historic Brattonsville website. Want to see your photo as our picture of the day? Just email it to news@cn2.com. Welcome back to CN2 News. The Bethel Men's Night Shelter sleeping area has reopened. Organizers say the back wall of the Bethel United Methodist Church has been repaired, and the Bethel Men's Night Sleeping Shelter area is once again open to make sure 40 men have a safe place to sleep nightly. Since September 2022, men experiencing homelessness in our area have been sheltered in the neighboring Bethel UMC gym. Bethel is getting ready for its Love Our Neighbor event in September, which serves as a fundraiser for the nonprofit. Well, in tonight's CN2's digital dashboard, the city of TKK is squeezing in more fun before the summer ends. Rundy Park will be showing the very popular movie, The Super Mario Brothers, on Saturday, August 26. Organizers say bring a blanket, your friends, and chairs for an evening under the stars. Concessions will open at 7:30 p.m. and the movie will start at 8 p.m. Well, stay with us. Meet the heroes behind the CN2 Hometown Heroes series after this.
If you're traveling north on Highway 601 after leaving the town of Kershaw, South Carolina, it is impossible to miss Hale Gold Mine. This now advanced operation was once the leading area for gold mining in the United States before the California Gold Rush. In 1827, gold was discovered on the property of Captain Benjamin Hale in Lancaster County. Folks began panning creek beds and using other early techniques to retrieve gold. In 1880, an operation out of New York bought the property and began mining with more advanced techniques. From here, production skyrocketed. Sadly, an accident caused the mine to close operations in 1908. Over the next 100 years, gold would periodically be mined, but never to the amount it once was. In 2015, Oceanic Gold, a multinational gold and copper producer, acquired Hale Gold Mine. Today, Hale is positioned to be the largest and most advanced gold mine on the East Coast. So next time you're in that area, look at how far the first gold miners have come. CN2's Minute in History is proudly brought to you by Rock Hill Coca-Cola Bottling Company.
Welcome back to CN News. One series we absolutely adore, Hometown Heroes. Who doesn't love to celebrate them? Well, we all do, and so does the Elrod Pope Law Firm. Tommy Pope joining us here now. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Always glad to be with you.
Well, we appreciate you sponsoring this segment, and really in so many ways, you're a hometown hero. You've been a public servant for so many years, and I would love to just talk about that journey a little bit. What do you think it is about the folks that we're able to celebrate in this series that just have this inherent almost need to give back? I'd love for parents to sort of hear the message, like what is it that those of us that take the time to give back, and what are we teaching our children to breed this so that people think that way first?
Sure. I think you hit part of it. What are we teaching our children? I was sharing with somebody the other day, actually it was my middle son, and he was asking me, he said, people call you all the time and they're needing things that it's not technically legislative and it's not technically lawyer. And I told him, Mama being a teacher and Daddy being a police officer, and I can remember the old days living in Leslie with the phone ringing and somebody calling Mama or Daddy about getting married, getting divorced, buying a house, all the kind of value things you have to decide in your life. And I think, so I think it does start with family and what's been bred into us. And I think our community's rich with that. I think we've got a lot of people, not just people from here, but people that want to give back. I think it's a connection to something that's bigger than yourself. Because we could all trudge through and drive in our own lane and blow horn at people and just live our own life and never really connect. And I think that's the beauty of Hometown Heroes, is recognizing it too. Because to me, that's another layer. We get inundated with bad news. Mm-hmm. And you really have to, as Mama used to say, stop and smell the roses. It really, that's why I appreciate the effort that CN2 puts into it, and I'm excited the firm's involved in it. The opportunity to recognize that, the world may be going to hell in a handbasket, but maybe there's some good people too.
Yeah, it keeps you
Absolutely.
feeling good about the place
Absolutely.
that you live. And in your case, a lot of what you've done, like you mentioned, is maybe through elected positions.
Right.
But so much of it isn't. You don't have to hold a title to do good in the world.
No doubt.
And that's what's so cool. And sometimes we celebrate the littles, and there's no age
Yeah.
that cuts
Yeah.
it off. I mean, it is an across the board thing that truly, when we put them all together, there's a warmth that you get from it. What is it for you that keeps you coming back, that makes you still pick up the phone?
I don't know any other way. Again, my son who had lived away, and they've just moved home, so we're excited. He's building a house, and we've got a 1-year-old grandbaby living in the basement. So, it kind of gets connected to that. But I have been very blessed in my life, and I've had tremendous opportunities. And, as cliche as it sounds, the paying forward, the people that call me that need help, they trust me, so I want to live up to that trust. They know me and appreciate me, and so I don't want to let them down. My wife and I always talk about, we went through a class, Growing Kids God's Way, and it talked about your love languages. And, different. Little Tommy's is praise. I always laugh. I said I could do a chore at the house and, fix the flower bed, and Kim will, I'll say it's time, and she'll go, that's beautiful. Oh, I'll build 4 more. I think I'm wired like that too when it comes to helping people. A little bit of gratitude, and Tommy will move mountains for you if he can. And so as I see the different people in all different walks of life on Hometown Heroes, they're not necessarily getting the accolades until the Hometown Heroes. but they're doing it because they want to do their part. You know, biblically, you always say you don't donate on the, on the street corner, you do it quietly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't pray on the street corner, you do it quietly. And I think that's the good thing about Hometown Heroes, an opportunity to recognize the people that may be doing it quietly but deserve that little bit of appreciation that makes Tommy so happy.
Yeah, it makes all of us happy. And, I think most of the people we recognize say, I'm not deserving,
Right.
or they say, I'm not a hero. It sounds like such a big word. And I
Right.
think that's a common thread that also is so telling about those people,
I
right?
think
That
that's-
they're not looking for it.
Yeah, I remember years ago when I was first started in politics, and there was the Christian Coalition, so it was kind of trendy for politicians to go, I'm a Christian. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat, rather than me saying that, you could watch me, with my actions and decide. And I think the same thing's true of your heroes that you're choosing. They don't stand and beat their chest. The people that are telling you they're heroes, you may take it with a grain of salt, but these people that quietly serve deserve every recognition we can give them.
And we always say it takes a village, and very much so. We can't say enough about the people behind the scenes. It's not always the one with the microphone, or
Right.
on a football field. It's not always the guys on the field that are making the difference. There's a
Right.
whole world of people that are doing these things.
Absolutely.
So what would be your suggestion for folks to find something maybe that they're passionate about, or how to get just that much more engaged to make a difference?
I think the one thing that people can do is recognize that any contribution, is a contribution. Sometimes people think, well, I could never do what you do, or, whatever. Well, maybe God didn't call you to do, to be an attorney or a prosecutor or a police officer. But maybe the fact that, going all the way from the stay-at-home mom that makes sure that those kids get to school on time, or teachers, or anything all through, we've all got something we can contribute. If it's simple as, it sounds cliche in this world time, but holding the door open for somebody, helping somebody, you will feel better for it, and our society will be better off because of it.
Yep, a smile can go a long way, I promise.
Amen.
Well, Tommy
Amen.
Pope, thank you for all that you do.
I appreciate it. Thank
Appreciate
you. I'm honored
taking
to
the
be
time.
here.
Well, our
Thank you.
pleasure, and we'll have much more after this. Stay with us.
Hometown Hero is brought to you by Elrod Pope Law Firm.
Hi, this is Tommy Pope. Elrod Pope Law Firm is honored to sponsor Hometown Hero. If you've been injured, Elrod Pope is here to help.
Welcome back. This is CN2 Sports. One of the area's best baseball programs is starting a new team. CN2's Jeremy Winder has more on that, but first we catch up with a high school football team who's looking to earn the greatness in their name.
The Red Devils have been red hot this preseason, coming off an impressive performance in the Chester County Jamboree. Great Falls is looking to be great again after a 2022 season that was anything but, with just 2 victories that also saw the departure of head coach DeMarcus Simons. Now stepping in is a former assistant, Brian Kane, whose familiarity has helped smoothen the transition, but the ultimate motivation for this squad is correcting the wrongs of a year ago.
No, we went 2-8 last year, and we shouldn't have done that. We had so much dang talent on the team that 2-8 should never been a thing. And so, I've been just saying all this, we got to prove that we're not 2-8. We got to prove ourselves. We want people to acknowledge us.
Very excited. I'm very excited. It's like you said, it's game week. I miss doing this, man. I want to start a new season off fresh, make sure it's correct. Let's erase everything that happened last year. Let's have a better year.
And now let's see how the Red Devils schedule will begin. They will actually play their first game on this Thursday at Heathwood Hall Episcopal in Columbia. August 25th, they will head to Bishopville for a battle with Lee Central. Labor Day weekend, they play their home opener against Scotts Branch. September 8th, they will head back on the road to play Columbia High. The next week, they are back at home against the Hickory Hawks. And on September 22nd, they will play Thornwell in Clinton, South Carolina. And in case you're wondering why all those shots to the team practicing were inside of a gym, it had nothing to do with an unplayable field, but because of the extreme heat that hit the area on Monday afternoon. In spite of the fact that they will play their first game in just 3 days, for the past few years, South Carolina high schools have been required to use a wet bulb globe temperature monitoring device, which also measures humidity, wind, and radiation before activities are cleared to begin. Friday's WRHI Football City USA kickoff was delayed because of the rule as well, and as frustrating as it may be for teams teams who want to make the most of their practice time, it is ultimately about player safety.
I know they want their children to be safe while they're out there. Obviously, I'm here to make sure their children are safe, and just safety is the #1 priority because at the end of the day, we are playing a child's game. And we got to make sure that we keep the child safe.
And in your Tuesday night CN2 Sports digital scoreboard, check out this picture from the Milltown Baseball Academy Facebook page over the weekend, recognizing the young ladies of their inaugural softball teams who will be on the field this weekend. Congratulations and best of luck in your opening games. And finally, for all of you soccer fans, if you want to see some local teams match up Wednesday evening, the Winthrop Eagles will host the USC Lancaster Lancers at Eagle Field at 4:30 in an exhibition match. Following that contest, Coach Daniel Ridenauer's squad will be playing Wingate at 7 o'clock. These will be the last tune-ups for the Eagles before next Thursday's season opener on the road at Coastal Carolina. Be sure to tune in for our midweek show where we will stop by the pit. Until then, hope you have a good evening. This is Jeremy Winder, CN2 Sports.
All right, thank you, Jeremy, for that report. We hope everyone is staying safe out in that weather tonight. And always check us out on CN2.com on our website, and we hope to see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. here on CN2 News. Good night.